morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Unity of Wilmington. Can I ask you to stand and join me for our opening song? Thank you.
We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, oh, lift up our hearts. Lift up our vision, lift it to the stars. Dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. See God in every face. See God in every face. We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, oh, lift up our hearts. Lift up our vision, lift it to the stars. Dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. See God in every face. See God in every face. Lift up our hands, oh, lift up our hearts. Lift up our vision, lift it to the stars. Dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. See God in every face. See God in every face. See God in every face.
And before you sit down, please nod to your neighbors and see God in their face. We are all very beautiful this morning. Good morning, I'm Lainey Morger. I'm your platform host for the day, and I'd like to welcome you again to Unity of Wilmington, for those here present and for those of you out there in Cyberland. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Anybody here for the first time today? We would be glad to welcome you. Our ushers will give you packets to get some information from you that we encourage you to share with us. Anybody here for the second or third time? Even better. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And for those of us who are here for the manyth time, I'm so glad we're all coming together to become one big happy family and one community. Our program today is being facilitated by Jose Antonio, who is in our sound booth bringing you sights and sounds. Our musician, master, both music director and vocalist for the day, is Katie Deese. Our speaker for the day will be Reverend Ellen Contente, our co-minister. Our daily word will be read by Lisa Keating. Greeting you as you came in today were Teresa Rodriguez and Teresa Conte. And when you leave here and go and have some hospitality, Gloria O'Brien and Gloria Bright will be your hostesses for the day. And our youth ed person is Santa Rockwell. So welcome, 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 and thank you all for being here. The sun is shining despite what it looks like outside. And we're all here being very bright. I would invite you to join me as we say our statement of faith. There is only one present, active in power, active in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence. And our affirmations. I am a divine expression of God. I am here for a holy purpose. I'm in the right place at the right time, right now. And now Lisa will do the daily word.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you. Today's daily word for Sunday, April 21st, 2024, is appreciation. And please join me, if you would, in reading the affirmation. I appreciate the good in my life. When someone admires my efforts or thanks me for something helpful that I've done, I'm happy to know that I have blessed them, recognizing how good that it feels to be appreciated. I remember to express my gratitude and appreciation to the people who have blessed me. I appreciate my friends and my family by nurturing those relationships. I appreciate my community by being a responsible citizen. I appreciate the natural beauty of the world by caring for it and taking time to enjoy it. The people, the places, and the things I appreciate become more precious to me as I discover that each reflects God's presence and God's activity in a uniquely beautiful way. I am grateful to have so much to appreciate. And the Bible verse today is from Romans. Love one another with mutual affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. And again, together, if you wish to affirm, I appreciate the good in my life.
Thank you, Lisa. And now our music director, Katie D.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place could be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. If you want to know why, there's a love that cannot lie. Love is strong, it only cares for joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel fear or dread. We stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing. So make a better place, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If we care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. And the dream we were conceived on will be a joyful place. days, and the world we once believed in will shine again in grace. Then why do we keep strangling life round this room of earth? Crucify its soul. There's plain to see this world is heavenly. Be God's glow. We could fly if we try. Let our spirits never die. In my heart, I feel that you are all my brothers. Create a world with no fear. Together we'll cry happy tears. See the nations turn their swords into plowshares. We could really get there if you cared enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world we live in. Save it for our children. Heal the world we live in. Save it for our children.
Oh my goodness, let's give another rousing round of applause. I know Katie doesn't really like the light shined on her, but she is the light of our music here, and she stepped in because our guest singer was sick, so thank you so much. And what an absolute perfect song. So welcome, everyone. I'm Reverend Ellen, for those of you that are new today. I know we have a couple of folks that are new because I met you as you came in. So where are you again? I see Frank, right, over there. And I'm sorry, Katie, and some faces that are here just were yesterday we did our gardening, Zoe and William over there as well. So, and I was sitting here the other day and I was thinking, I almost know everyone's name now, which is so amazing. I'm getting there. So if I don't know your name, just remind me, because it goes in sometimes and goes out. But welcome everyone, new, old, online, in person, in bed because it's raining. So if you're here today, thank you and welcome. So before we get into our message today, it is Wisdom Month, and we are going to get wise in our lesson today, but we're going to do our meditation first. So I loved what Lisa read in the Daily Word today, and I just want to use some of that for our meditation this morning. So I invite everyone just to get comfortable in your seat, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Let's take another deep breath in. And let's just let anything that is not serving us right now, just let it go. Just release it. Anything you're worrying about, any troubles, any arguments you had, anything you're worrying about, just let it go. And just breathe into this open space of divine expression of who you are. Just allowing your heart to expand in joy and love and appreciation. The people, the places, and the things I appreciate become more precious to me as I discover that each reflects God's presence and God's activity in a uniquely beautiful way. And so feel that appreciation. Picture one person that you truly appreciate. Or picture a room full of people that you appreciate. And see the face of God in their smile. Feel the joy and the love that you have for them, for being in your life, past or present. An appreciation for that person that is yet to come into your life. And now hold some appreciation for those places, your spiritual home, your physical home, your community, and the world that we live in, and all of its inhabitants, whether they fly or crawl or walk. Feel the appreciation that you have to share this planet with all of these beings. And our appreciation for the planet itself, for being our home. And so let's just take a couple of moments of silence and just be in this beautiful, loving gratitude and appreciation. And if your mind wanders, it's okay. Just bring it back to that face, to that place, and see the love and feel the love. So let's take another deep breath in. And know that this feeling of joy, love, appreciation, gratitude is but a breath away. And that person, that place, this planet needs your love and needs your appreciation. And we can heal the world. And so let's bring our attention back to this present moment and our awareness. And just wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, just go ahead and open up your eyes. Thank you, Katie. Oh, excuse me. You turn that down for a sec. Finally, now you can put it back up. Well, you just might have to hear me cough a little bit throughout this. I think I'm finally experiencing the pollen. Even though it's been washed away, I'm recognizing that it's kind of sitting here in my throat a little bit, so apologies for that. But welcome, welcome, welcome to our third Sunday in April. Oh, I have water. Thank you, Rich. Thank you. Much appreciation for that. So, as a matter of fact, who is in the garden team and who was here yesterday? Stand up, whether you were here yesterday or you were in the garden team. Rich is our... Rich is our garden team leader, and he's always looking for team members. And we came out yesterday to do our Earth Day planting and raking and mulching, and we had such a great time. We really had a wonderful time. The rain stayed away, obviously, till today, and it was just perfect timing because everything we planted absolutely needs the rain to nourish it. So we had a wonderful time. And that's what this is really all about. That's what this is really all about, is supporting each other and being the community that we really truly are, whether it's here or it's out there, whether it's here or it's out there. So today my talk actually has been inspired by one of our congregants, Jim Hickey in the back. Go ahead, raise your hand. And so we had a fundraiser back in November, I think it was November, and the worship team had a basket that was open for bidding as other teams. And in the worship basket team, basket, that's the proper way to say that, was the opportunity to name my talk, to name any one of my talks for the year. And so Jim won the basket, and I reached out to him and said, here's the Sundays that I talk, here's the themes, pick the one that you want, and what do you want me to talk about? So he shared with me that, his concern is, with all the things that are going on in the world, how do we keep our faith? How do we practice these principles with everything going on in the world? And I thought, well, putting our faith to the test. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So how many of you could use a little more faith? Yeah, almost everybody's hands went up. But I think you might recall, or maybe not, you already have all the faith that you need. So we don't need more faith, we just need more recognition. We just need more recognition. So when we talk about wisdom, most of us are familiar with, IQ, like how smart are you? I mean, that's what we think about, like, oh, how that person's so wise, they're so smart. And, it's not until we get much older, it seems like, that we're wise. It's through all those trials and tribulations that we learn. That's how we become wise. But we want to focus more on spiritual wisdom, which is all about that connection to the divine and recognizing that we are one, that we are an expression of God. And, the way we can improve our spiritual intelligence is by practicing these principles, is by living these truths every single day. And we can all become more spiritually aware. We all have enough faith, but we might not have as much awareness. So how do we make sure that we're keeping the faith, and how can we live by these principles every day? So how many of you are taking the 5 Principles class? I know there's quite a few of you. So it's a 5-week class. I teach it twice a year. There's 2 more classes, so you can jump in next Tuesday and then the following Tuesday for the 5th class. The 5 principles really are all about what unity is based in. So how do we make sure, right, that we can live by these principles? Well, we make choices. Basically, we make choices day in and day out. They're either in alignment with principle or they're not, but we can absolutely create heaven on earth. So I want to talk about, what gets in the way of us really living these divine principles. So, and I know I'm going to mispronounce this gentleman's name, but he marched in Tiananmen Square and fought for freedom and democracy. So he says that hatred is corrosive of a person's wisdom. It destroys tolerance and humanity. It was actually a much longer quote, so I actually distilled it down. And it got me thinking about, where does hate even come from? Where does it come from? We're not born with hate. Right? We're born free. Born free. Right? We are born free. We are born as divine expressions of God. So hate is something that's taught to us. It's instilled in us. And, it's like children are sponges. They see and they, mimic what they see and what they live and what they experience, whether it's at home, whether it's in their, churches or synagogues or mosques, or it's at school. But, the song from South Pacific kept ringing in my head as I was putting this together, right? Everybody knows that song. We've got to be taught to hate and fear. We've got to be taught from ear to hate all the people our relatives hate. We've got to be carefully taught, right? It's like, I don't remember being actively taught to hate anyone, but I was taught to be leery of people, to be fearful of people. My mom used to say, be careful when you we think these thoughts, and the more fearful we are, the more we hold back our love. Because I don't know you, you don't know me, I don't know if you're going to hurt me, you look different than me, so we carry these thoughts with us, and the more we think something, then, the more it creates. So where is I going to read here? Top, okay. I have so much I wanted to share from the 5 principles today. So what we call evil, right, is actually an expression of mass consciousness. So this is from the first principle, that God is all there is. And it's like, when we consider that if God is all there is, and God is good, and God is love, then why is there war? Why is there hate? Why does this stuff happen? Well, what we call evil is an expression of mass consciousness. We all contribute to it through our angry and violent thoughts, the energetic vibrations we pour into the one mind. So when you have an argument with your spouse, we were arguing the whole drive here. Discussing, I know, I say arguing, he says discussing. It's the energy. It's like how I interpret that energy. But part of it is because of the house I was brought up in. Anytime you raised your voice or you had a discussion, it was viewed as an argument, and it makes me shut down. And when we have these angry, frustrating thoughts and we put them out there in the world, we're creating more of it. Like all those thoughts attract each other. And so, sometimes we just feel powerless to make changes. Yeah, I turn the news on and I get, why are you watching that? But it's like, all right, I want to know what's going on in the world. I want to make sure that this didn't happen over there, or that didn't happen over here, or whatever. So the more you watch it, sometimes you just feel powerless. Like, oh my God. And we say that, right? Oh my God. Oh my God. And we wonder, is it ever going to change? And we just kind of resolve ourselves to, well, I guess that's just the way it is. And we just keep bringing those past negative experiences to the present. Well, it's always been like that over there, or those people never got along over here. And, I remember that in my own household, those conversations, discussions around, well, there'll never be peace in that part of the world, or those people will never get along with each other. And, we look around and we see all of these things that are happening. And it feels like it's going backwards, doesn't it sometimes? That's why it's like, oh my God, with all the things that are going on, how can we have faith in humanity? How can we heal the world when all these things are still going on? But what we're doing is just affirming that instead of affirming our power. Our power. We are divine expressions of God, and that means we have the power of love. We have the power of faith. We have the power of wisdom within us. We actually have 12 powers, and probably more than that. But we don't affirm that. We are affirming the negative. And the more we watch violent movies or play video games, and even we were watching a movie last night, one of those espionage kinds of movies. I forgot the name of it. Bricklayer. There we go. Bricklayer. It was actually okay, but it was violent, and I caught myself as soon as the fight would start looking away. It's like, I don't want to see that. Even though I know it's acting, it's based on reality. It's based on things that are happening in the world. I don't want to see that. And the truth is, we perpetuate it by watching the movies, by playing the video games. We've actually normalized violence as a way to deal with our anger and frustration. And maybe we don't perpetuate violence on each other, but we have arguments, we're rude, we're dismissive, we're like, "Ugh, that person," right? We fight, and we don't see God in that person. That's our own form. That's our own form. You know, few of us really do live in our God power all the time. Right? What percentage of the time are we truly living in our God power? 1%, 5%, maybe 80%, right? But, you know, maybe Jesus lived in his God power 100% of the time, you know, or some of those spiritual masters. But we forget. But just like we get caught up in all of the negative news and the negative, you know, movies or, you know, those violent movies, there's just as many inspiring movies and inspiring people and, you know, positive values in the world. But where our attention goes, that's where the energy goes. So we have to be really careful where we're placing our attention. And as you all know, I like to watch the morning CBS show because there's always positive stories there. And one of the stories they were talking about, which again reminded me and restored my faith in humanity, is all of the cities around the country, there are not all of them, but a number of cities around the country that are recognizing that, you know, all of the highways have cut off, you know, life, what's the word I'm looking for? Wildlife from being able to just roam. So the highway that goes across the entire country, I think it's Highway 90. So in California, as a matter of fact, they're building the largest overpass over 101 so that the panthers can cross. And other cities across the country are building overpasses and underpasses so the turtles and the foxes and the bears and the lions can continue staying in their natural habitats. So that's humanity doing the right thing to heal the world. That puts my faith back, right? That restores my faith. And so that's our affirmation, as a matter of fact. It's getting all caught up. I forgot we have an affirmation. Maybe it's not yet. I may have jumped ahead a little bit. So humanity is an ocean. If a few of the drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean doesn't become dirty. So one bad apple doesn't spoil the whole bunch, right? One bad apple doesn't spoil the whole bunch. And we just need to stop giving our energy over to those, you know, few bad apples. So one of the things that happens, too, when it comes to, like, why does evil continue, why do we deal with all of this, is that humans were created with free will. And we make mistakes. How many of you make mistakes? Right? I want to see every hand go up. We all make mistakes, and you can type it into our Facebook chat there as well. And the word sin originally meant missing the mark. Some of us miss it by miles. Right? And the truth is that good and evil are just simply labels that humans give to events. And it's based on our opinions at the time, like what we consider to be good and what we consider to be bad. And the reality is that instead of being caught up in all of that, what we want to do is give our forgiveness and our appreciation and our gratitude. We all make mistakes. So if we want to restore our faith, can we forgive everything? I know that's a big ask. That's a big ask. Maybe we can't forgive an event, but can we forgive that person made what we consider to be the wrong choice, or they completely missed the mark? And, you know, when we forgive ourselves as well, instead of beating ourselves up about mistakes that we make. instead of not doing what we think is the right thing to do. It's like, how do we restore our faith? There we go. I restore my faith through love. Let's say that. I restore my faith through love. Right? That's the way, through love, as love. That's how we restore our faith, is reminding ourselves that we are that divine love. All right, creating a true sense of unity should be our first objective as human beings if we want true peace. So one of the reasons we suffer so much is because we believe we're separate. We believe we're separate. But I mean, reach over. You can actually touch that other person if you want to. Right? They do feel separate from you. But we know that we're all connected, but we don't necessarily live in that world as humans. We have, bodies, and so we are separate. But what happens is when we believe we're separate is that gives justification for all of our prejudices. Well, you don't look like me. You don't believe the things that I believe. We lack compassion when people are different and they're making different choices. And the more we oppose, the more energy we give to that. The more we oppose that different point of view, the more energy we give to it. And I think that's why we see so much, that's going on. We're just giving energy, and the wider the gap is between, who we are. And instead of coming closer together, we just are getting further and further apart. One of my favorite books is called Spiritual Politics. Spiritual Politics. And I'm going to read a quote actually from General MacArthur. And since we're talking a lot about, what's going on in the world. So he said, men, since the beginning of time, have sought peace. Right? We have sought peace. Military alliances, balances of power, leagues of nation, all in turn have failed. The problem is basically theological and involves a spiritual recrudescence and improvement of human character. It must be of the spirit to save the flesh. And that's from a general. It must be of the spirit to save the flesh. So he's basically saying we need to reconnect with our spiritual selves, with our own divinity. And, we have to restore our faith. So we also create, though, not just as individuals. We do create as a group that mass consciousness. And we were talking about this in our class, I think it was Tuesday night, as, how do we make changes just ourselves? Well, sometimes it can be difficult because the energy attracts. The energy attracts. So if we can switch over to appreciation and gratitude and love, are we going to have more of that? Yes or no? Yes. Absolutely, right? So when we think about being connected, it's just like when we have differences of opinions, right? My left arm might believe this. My right arm might believe this, right? Different people, different opinions, but we're connected. Can everyone do that? Or some version of that. I'm just making this up as I go along right now. So we're all connected to our heart, to our mind, to our body. And even though we have differences of opinions, we are all connected. We're all connected. And one of the things that I think illustrates this, and I think I'll talk about this in just a moment, but putting principle into action starts as an inside job, which is what we're talking about, right? To bring peace to the world, you have to be peaceful. And actually, she talks about that in the book. And I know it's easier said than done, right? Is it easier said than done? Yeah, absolutely, right? In our homes, in our classrooms, in our communities, when we're trying to decide policy, trying to figure out even what color to paint a room, right? We have differences of opinion all the time. So it's constantly a test of faith. Let me share something else from this book as well. This is a fabulous book. So when it comes to putting principle into action, our ability to cope with problems of the differences between us and our national enemies may well be dependent on our ability to cope with differences that exist day to day. The differences we have with our parents, our children, the opposite sex, etc. So of course, it makes sense. If we can't even get along with our own families, if we can't get along with our neighbors, if we can't get along, in our communities, how do we expect to get along, with the rest of the world? So we have to start here. I have to be at peace with myself first. I have to let go of the fight to want to be right. Right? Let's all say that together. Let go of the fight to be right. Jose, remind me of that. Every day. Because it's so true. We get stuck in that. Even I get stuck in that. And I have to remind myself, why am I fighting to be right? Why can't I just be open to a different point of view? I don't have to agree with it, but I can accept that there's many different points of views. All right. Seeing ourselves as spiritual beings without labels is a way to transform the world and reach a sacred place for all of humanity. I love this quote by Wayne Dyer. And I would say, and the animal kingdom, going back to the song, Heal the World. So what are the labels that we use? Right? We label ourselves, don't we? We label ourselves, with our citizenship, with our gender, with our education, with our color, with our race. If we walk around, we just stamp them on our forehead sometimes, right? That's what creates the division, is the label, as opposed to just recognizing we're all human. And I think one of the best illustrations of this I saw recently was when I was watching people watch the eclipse. How many of you watched some of that on the news? Right? Yeah. Every newscaster that they interviewed said, it was such an experience of oneness, of recognizing that we are just so tiny in this big, amazing world, and that really we are all connected. And I was thinking, I was watching this, like, could we somehow have full eclipses every day so that we could remind ourselves of the unity of the world, of the planet? And I'm sure, if the astronauts as well, looking down on the Earth, had the same experience of, we're all one. We're all on this planet. There's no countries. You don't see the countries. Those are all man-made, all of those divisions. We're all one. And our human oneness trumps differences. I hate using that word, but that's what it means. Sorry. No opinion there. So, this is actually by a Benedictine nun. She said, the test of faith is whether I can make space for difference. Can I recognize God's image in someone who is not my image, whose language, faith, ideals are different from mine? And if I cannot, then I have made God in my image instead of allowing him to remake me in his. So again, this was from a nun who said that. And we believe that we are all divine expressions of God. So everyone's image is one of God. So can you see God in every face? As we talked about, Lainey said, look at the person next to you and see God in their face. And it's easy here, isn't it? Absolutely. I challenge you to see God in the face of somebody who's doing something in the world that you don't agree with. I watch the news holding that thought when I'm listening to someone I disagree with, and I'm telling you, it's challenging. It's challenging. I have to get my humanness out of the way and see the divine in that person, to see that they have the right to make the choices that they want to make. I may disagree with them. They may be ethically, morally wrong in my opinion. But we came into this existence with choice and free will. And so just knowing that and holding that opens up a space for me to be more like, okay, let me try to understand. Again, I don't have to agree, but I want to restore my faith in humanity. And that's, what we want to do is restore our faith through love. So let's say that once again. I restore my faith through love. So one way to do that is to recognize there are so many people doing amazing, wonderful things in this world. Instead of putting all our energy on the people that are doing bad things, in our opinion, right? Instead of putting all our energy in the negative things going on in the world, right? There are organizations that are doing amazing and wonderful things. There are people in this community that are giving their time and their energy to do amazing, wonderful things. So I did a little bit of research. I was like, okay, I want to find all the amazing programs in the world, especially young children, because they are our future. What are they doing to heal the world and heal the planet? Well, there was one organization that I found, and I think we were watching this on TV, but it's a program called A Way Home. It was started in Houston, and their whole program is to get people off the street, eradicate homelessness, and they recognize we got to give people a home first. Get them settled, then we can give them services and help them find jobs and do all the things, but everyone needs to have a home. So A Way Home, eradicating homelessness, and it's working beautifully, and other cities are adopting that program. Then we have in Afghanistan, You See Clear, providing affordable glasses to people, eyeglasses. Biozine, young girl in India creating immunizations for children. Also in India, Green Soul. Someone recognized so many peasants have no shoes. Let's take sneakers that people are throwing out and repurpose them for sandals. Chatterbox, this was also one I thought was pretty amazing. Kabul refugees spend years and years and years, and I'm sure other refugees, just wasting away. And instead, she created a program where they learn language online and teach language to other people while they're waiting in these refugee camps. So go home, do a Google search. You will find so many programs, people, services, amazing things. Just because we don't see them televised doesn't mean that they're not out there. So where our attention goes, our energy goes. There are literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. This can restore our faith in humanity. So whenever you feel that your faith is tested, ask yourself, where am I looking? What am I looking at? Right? Am I focusing on the good, or am I focusing on the lack? Right? There's so many animal shelters as well out there doing pet rescue. And my daughter and I went, I think it was last Saturday. I could be wrong, but it was recently. We went to Eagles Dare here in Wilmington. They were doing an event called Weenies and Martinis. So I called my daughter because I know she loves miniature dachshunds, especially the long-haired ones. And, when you think about it, that was just a simple little event to raise money, to bring joy, to bring people together, community. We don't have a dog. I don't have a dog. But I love just watching all these dogs play. And that's really what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. We are connected. We may have different interests, but we can absolutely appreciate, love each other. So go to a dog park. That's always fun as well. So let's review our lesson for today. I know I went a little bit long, but love restores faith. Right? The faith is always there, right? But when we tap into our power, that restores our faith. And we want to focus on the good. So I do want to read one more passage here from the 5 principles. And again, we need to practice these principles. It's not enough just to know them, but to practice them. And that's how we can restore our faith. So Charles Fillmore, founder of Unity, said, "Pronounce every experience good and of God. And by that mental attitude, you will call forth only the good. What seemed error will disappear and only the good will remain. This is the law, and no one can break it. The spiritual law." So we're going to close with a slightly different affirmation. I'll say it once and let's repeat it 2 times. I am wise to claim the prize of peace, joy, and love. All right, everyone? I am wise to claim the prize of peace, joy, and love. One more time. I am wise to claim the prize of peace, joy, and love. And so it is. All right, and thank you, Jim, for that talk title. So it is now time for us to claim the prize of prosperity. To claim the prize of prosperity. Because it is just divine flow of tithing, donations that support our spiritual center. So let's go ahead and do our mudra. Ready? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. Be a blessing to the world.
I give gratitude and appreciation for what's in these baskets, what is donated online, giving our time and our talent to our spiritual center, knowing that it returns to each and every one of us, multiplied abundantly, to go out and heal the world. And with that, I release my word, knowing it's done. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. All right, so we have a special second song today, which is going to be a video. So I invite everybody just to get comfortable in your seat. If you know the song, please sing along.
We are the children. Before it starts, do they follow?
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We all a part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a as God has shown us by turning stone to bread. And so we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. Kids, do we make a better day? Just you and me. When you're down and out, and there seems no hope at all. But if you just believe, there's nowhere we can fall. Well, let's realize, that a change can only come when we stand together as one. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving.
Wow, we are the world, we are the children. And remember, it starts inside each and every one of us, and it only goes out from there. So we are glowing. We are the wonderful children of the world. I'm blessed, and so are you. Anyway, we've come to the end of another Sunday service, and I thank you all for being here, and I appreciate you all to be present. Our events for today are this afternoon, we will have a Sunday salon presented by the Goddess Portal, and I believe that starts at 1:30. Yesterday was our pre-earth planting day, and I hope you appreciated as you walked up to the church and saw the lovely plants that we put in, the new mulch that was spread, and there are still piles of mulch to continue to be spread. So join us in doing that, and thank you again for everybody who was here. It was a wonderful day. For those of you who've been hanging around a little more, we have started the painting project in the parlor, which will be finished next week. So that one will be terrific. The stuff will be put back where it's supposed to be, and we'll be ready to use that room for various meetings and other group participating there. So it will be available, as is the sanctuary and as is the community room. Upcoming next week will be our monthly meditation, our Spring Awakening. And I forget who is leading that because it's not written here. Oh, our lovely Reverend Ellen, I'm sorry for forgetting that. But that will be Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And that is always a wonderful experience, and it's different every month. So please join us. In May, which is put ahead on your calendar, we have Awakening the Heart with Brian Lotman. He will be an outside speaker, and he will be here on a Saturday evening. He will need a place to stay for a couple of days. So if anybody has a room that they would like to share, please let Cecilia know in the office, and we can get in touch with him, and he can have a place to stay. Outside of that, we always need a team and the whole community to do this. This week we are honoring our worship team and our music team have come together to deliver this wonderful service to you. And so now it is time to say goodbye for the day, for the weekend, to let you go out and let all of us practice all the good stuff we've heard today. So please stand and join me in our closing prayer. The present, sure. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And let peace, joy, prosperity, and abundance always be in your heart and let us heal the world beginning with ourselves. Namaste.
Namaste.